Do you often find yourself worrying about things beyond your control? If so, you're not alone. Many of us find ourselves stuck in a cycle of worry and anxiety, often over situations we have little to no power over. It's an exhausting and unproductive way to live, isn't it? Enter Dale Carnegie's timeless classic, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. This book dives into the heart of worry, dissecting its roots and showing us just how much of our precious time and energy we waste on this unproductive habit. But the book doesn't just stop at highlighting the problem, it offers a lifeline, a way out of the mire of worry. Carnegie argues, quite convincingly, that most of our worries are not only unnecessary but also harmful to our overall well-being. He suggests that worry is a choice, not a foregone conclusion, and that we can choose to live differently. He paints a picture of a life not dominated by worry, but by action, by living in the present, and by focusing on what we can control. But how do we get to this worry-free life? Well, Carnegie doesn't leave us hanging. He presents us with a collection of techniques and strategies to combat worry. These aren't just abstract ideas, but practical, actionable steps we can implement in our everyday lives. He draws from a wealth of knowledge, from psychological insights to wisdom from historical figures, to guide us on this journey. Now, imagine a life where your energy is spent on actions, not anxieties. Imagine a life where worry doesn't dictate your decisions, where you can approach each day with a clear mind and a calm heart. This is the life Carnegie invites us to embrace. This is the art of worry-free living. Imagine living a life free from worry, where your energy is spent on actions and not on anxieties. How can we break free from the chains of worry? This question is the central theme of the book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, Time-Tested Methods for Conquering Worry. Let's delve into the key principles outlined in this life-changing book. The first principle is living in day-tight compartments. Imagine your life as a ship journeying through the sea of time. Rather than worrying about the entire voyage, focus on navigating the waters of today. By confining our troubles within the day they occur, we prevent worries from snowballing and overwhelming us. Next comes the law of averages. This principle encourages us to realistically assess the probability of our worries coming true. More often than not, we worry about things that are highly unlikely to happen. By applying the law of averages, we can rationalize our fears and keep them in check. The third principle is practicing mindfulness. This is about being present in the moment, fully engaged in what we're doing right now. It's about appreciating the here and now, rather than ruminating over past mistakes or fretting about future uncertainties. Mindfulness is like an anchor, keeping us grounded in the present and away from the stormy seas of worry. But how do these principles help manage worry and stress? Well, living in day-tight compartments helps us break down our worries into manageable chunks. Applying the law of averages prevents us from getting carried away by irrational fears, and practicing mindfulness helps us shift focus from our worries to the present moment, thus reducing stress and anxiety. These principles are not just theoretical concepts. They are practical tools designed to help us navigate through life's challenges with greater ease and less worry. They are, in essence, a roadmap to a more peaceful and worry-free life. Remember, worries are like shadows. They appear larger and scarier than the reality. By understanding and applying these principles, we can learn to shine a light on our worries, reducing them to their true size and often making them disappear altogether. These principles, when applied, could be your stepping stones to a worry-free life. Are you ready to conquer worry once and for all? Worry, that nagging thought in the back of your mind, can feel like an insurmountable mountain. But what if I told you that there's a practical set of techniques to help you overcome it? Let's delve into these methods, shall we? Firstly, the book suggests writing down your worries. It's a simple technique, but it's incredibly effective. By writing them down, you're giving your worries a form, a shape. They become less of this nebulous, all-consuming cloud and more of a tangible entity. This gives you the power to confront them head-on. Next, we move to analyzing your worries. Ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Most of the time, you'll find that the worst-case scenario isn't as bad as the fear makes it out to be. This can help put your worries into perspective. Once you've analyzed your worries, it's time to come up with solutions. This is where you switch from a passive worrier to an active problem solver. Brainstorm ways to mitigate the worst-case scenario or to prevent it altogether. Remember, every problem has a solution. Now, acceptance is a critical component in overcoming worry. Acceptance does not mean resignation. It means acknowledging the situation for what it is without exaggerating or minimizing it. This acceptance helps you to stay grounded in reality and not get lost in what-if scenarios. The last technique is positive thinking. It might sound cliché, but positive thinking is a powerful tool. It's not about ignoring the negative, but rather focusing on the positive aspects of a situation. It's about reframing your perspective to see opportunities instead of obstacles. Tools are useless if not utilized. To conquer worry, you need to apply these techniques consistently. So, grab that pen. Start writing down your worries, analyze them, devise solutions, accept the situation, and think positively. Remember, the journey to a worry-free life starts with a single, proactive step. How have these techniques worked in real-life situations? To answer that question, let's delve into a few real-life examples and case studies from the book that illustrate the potency of these techniques. Consider the story of John, a businessman who was constantly plagued by worries about his financial future. His days were filled with anxiety and his nights with sleeplessness. Then John decided to apply one of the key techniques from the book, living in day-tight compartments. He began focusing only on the tasks of the day, refusing to let his mind wander into the uncharted territories of tomorrow. This simple shift in perspective allowed John to regain control over his life, drastically reducing his anxiety and improving his overall well-being. Then we have the case of Susan, a young woman crippled by the worry of public opinion. She was extremely conscious of what others thought of her, to the point where it was affecting her mental health. The book's advice? Ignore the critics. Susan started following this advice, focusing on her own self-worth rather than the opinions of others. This led to a remarkable transformation, allowing her to live a happier, more fulfilled life. Another compelling example is that of Peter, a man who was constantly worried about his health. He was a hypochondriac, always fearing the worst about his well-being. The book suggested that he practiced the law of averages, a technique that involves realistically assessing the likelihood of a worry coming true. Peter started applying this, and it worked wonders. His fears were put into perspective, and he was able to live a more peaceful life. These examples are just the tip of the iceberg. There are countless other stories of individuals who, by applying the techniques in this book, were able to overcome their worries and improve their lives. These are not just theories, but proven methods that have helped many conquer their worries. Are you ready to embark on a journey towards a worry-free life? Imagine waking up every morning unburdened by the weight of a worry. Picture a life where your mind is free to focus on the joy and beauty of each moment, rather than being clouded by anxiety and dread. This is the promise of a worry-free life, a promise that is well within your reach. The book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, offers a roadmap to this worry-free life. It's not just a book, but a guide, a mentor, a friend that walks with you through the valleys of worry and helps you climb to the heights of peace and tranquility. By reading this book and applying its principles, you're accepting a powerful tool into your life. This tool won't just help you manage your worries, it will help you eradicate them. It's a weapon against the invisible enemy that is worry, an enemy that steals your joy, disrupts your relationships, and hampers your productivity. Imagine the freedom that comes with a worry-free life. Your mind, no longer shackled by the chains of anxiety, is free to explore, create, and innovate. You're no longer just surviving, you're thriving. Your relationships flourish as the tension of constant worry dissipates. Your productivity soars as your focus sharpens. You're happier, healthier, and more fulfilled. The potential benefits of a worry-free life are immense, but they're not just handed to you on a silver platter. You have to work for them, strive for them. You have to make the conscious decision to stop worrying and start living. It's a journey, not a destination. A process, not a one-time event. Embrace the wisdom contained within the pages of this book. Let it guide you, inspire you, and empower you. Let it lead you on a journey towards a life free from worry, a life filled with peace, joy, and fulfillment. Your journey towards a worry-free life starts now. Don't just read the book, live it.